right now. Welcome to the Dan River Basin Association, our year in review 2020. It has been a challenging year for everyone. Nonprofits have felt it, I think, harder than a lot of other businesses and organizations throughout the country, or throughout the world, rather. But DRBA has definitely gotten a lot of work done this year, and I'm so honored and proud to share with you what we have done in 2020. Now, certainly we can't share everything that we have done, but I am going to hit on some of the highlights. A little background for those of you who don't know who the Dan River Basin Association is. We go by DRBA, and is our acronym and our nickname. And we focus on three major goals: recreation, education, and stewardship. Our philosophy is that when people go out and recreate outdoors, they feel the mind, body, and spirit benefits that they get, and they want to learn more about what they see around them in their natural environment. And so we provide recreational programs and services and education, both in classroom for children, out in the field, adult webinars. This Lunch with DRBA is one of our educational programs. And finally, when people learn about the value and learn more about their natural environment, we hope that they're going to want to value it, which leads us to our stewardship pillar at DRBA. And we have several programs and services within that. And you can find out more about all that we offer on our website, danriver.org. And what you're seeing in front of you is a map of the Dan River Basin. We protect the waterways throughout this 3,300 square mile radius. It's roughly the size of Delaware. Our headwaters begin up here in Patrick County, and the basin empties out into Carr Reservoir out here in the Halifax-Mecklenburg area. So with that being said, we are going to get started. So when we started 2020, we had a focus on recreation, just like we have a focus every year in all of our major goals and priority areas. We were going to begin implementation of the 5-year Martinsville-Henry County Rivers and Trails Recreational Use Plan, which is about $7 million worth value in projects. Typically, a master plan takes about 10 to 12 years to complete, and we were challenged to do it in 5 years by the Harvest Foundation, and we accepted that challenge. We had a lot of special projects that we were going to complete. We had some trail and river access construction projects that we were going to do in Rockingham, North Carolina, and we had some project services. So what did we actually get done in 2020? Well, I talked about the Recreational Use Plan. We received a grant, a challenge grant of $700,000. We have to reach certain benchmarks every year in order to get that money to complete the $7 million value in projects in 5 years. This plan includes river access points, trails, and parks, new constructions, as well as enhancements throughout the Martinsville-Henry County area. And I am proud to announce that our year 1 projects have been completed. So what are those projects? Well, the Dick and Willie Passage Rail Trail from Spruce Street to the sports complex was completed. The ribbon cutting happened earlier this year. The Smith River Blueway has been completed. This is a blueway, beautiful blueway over 15 river accesses along the Smith River. Includes a brochure. There's signage along the Blueway Trail, and if you haven't done it, I highly recommend you visit the Smith River. We also completed several river access enhancements. The Philpott Dam River access is going to get a new ramp. We have not started construction, but we have applied for a grant in partnership with the Army Corps of Engineers. The Bassett River access has been completed. There's new gravel and a new access ramp. The Smith River Outfitters River access is currently being enhanced and will be done by the end of the year. The Great River access has a new boardwalk, a new access ramp, and it has been made into an eco-learning station for the students in Martinsville, Henry County to go out and learn more about water quality monitoring. And finally, the Fieldale River access has been enhanced with new rock, new paved area to get up, and new steps. So these were our 2020 projects, and by the end of the year, they will be done. We had an extra challenge this year with weather. Major flooding hit the area 3 times. So every time we started, we had to backtrack and get back to the starting point and do it again. So it has been an extraordinarily challenging year, despite despite all that, the pandemic and the flooding, we were able to manage that. And I wanted to give you just a quick glance at what the projects are over the next 4 years. There are 39 of them. Some of them are small and some of them are quite large. The Fieldale or the Dick and Willie Trail will have 2 more extensions and an enhancement. We'll have about 27 new miles of trail in the next 4 years, and a new park, a dog park called the Paw Park. It'll be at the Smith River Sports Complex, and I'll talk more about that later. So moving on, I'm going to talk about our leader projects. And the reason they're called the leader projects is because these projects were made possible by a very generous donation, Mrs. Lynn Leader, in memory of her mom and dad, who grew up in the Martinsville, Henry County area. She now resides in Colorado. So there are 2 projects. One is the Paw Park, and you can see a map of it right up here. It is going to be the first and only totally natural surfaced wild dog park in the entire state of Virginia. So what we did was we found a great parcel of land at the Smith River Sports Complex, and we have fully fenced it in with a 5-foot fence. It's a little over 2.5 acres. We left all the trees. We have built trails throughout it, and there will be 2, actually this map shows 2 open play areas, but I just walked it last week and we have identified an additional 3. So there will be 3 little play areas for dogs with accessories, ramps, things for them to play on throughout the trail. I just adopted an 8-year-old rescue this past month, and she has been out there, and she's also been on about 3 other dozen trails, and this by far is her favorite place to go. It is really exciting to see them sniff. There's great sniffing there, and while you just meander through the trail, the dogs can just run free, and you don't have to worry about them running away. And as you can see, it is located right next to our already constructed paw path, which does require a leash that goes along the Smith River. So these 2 play areas for puppies is just doggy heaven for them. The other project that Mrs. Leader supported is a trail called the Woodland Trail. This will be out at Spencer Penn. And this is a very short trail. It's less than a mile. However, it has a butterfly boardwalk with a viewing station. It has a family bonding area with picnic tables and toys. It has a meditation garden. It has an education station. It is a jam-packed little trail, and it is accessible for people of all ages and abilities. So we have built the trail. The fencing is up. Both trails are built. It is all cleared and ready, and the accessories and the finishing will happen in 2021. So again, with flooding and weather and the inability to bring volunteers together for work days has made it challenging, but we have pulled it through, and we are ready to do ribbon cuttings in March of 2021. Another great construction project that we are working on is a 2¼ mile extension of the Lake Reedsville Trail in Reedsville, the city of Reedsville in Rockingham County, North Carolina. You can see there are a lot of sections we are building. There are bridges. It is quite beautiful out there. We did have our first ribbon cutting in June, which was about to this area here. And we should have the rest of these segments finished in June of 2021. So it's beautiful. You can get out there and walk now, part of the trail. But we're really excited to have that extension completed next year. So some other things that we have been doing, and I have some pictures of some of the flooding that we have had to face this year, is we will complete the Mountains to Sea, Beaches to Bluegrass Master Plan. This is an exploratory plan. It is a feasibility plan to connect the statewide trails, the Mountains to Sea in North Carolina and the Beaches to Bluegrass in Virginia, and to create a connector trail between the two, which will be extraordinarily exciting. And we will have that master plan completed, and hopefully we will begin implementation of that plan in the next year. We also put up some historical interpretive signage at the Matrimony Creek Trail in Rockingham County. It's a beautiful trail. Unfortunately, it has been destroyed by flooding and is not open to the public currently, but when it does open, you'll be able to learn a lot about that really special area. We have started construction and hope to finish by the end of the year a Moss Street environmental education path. We are doing this in partnership with the Rockingham Education Foundation, and children from the school at Moss Street will be able to walk through this trail and learn about weather, learn about climate, learn about local flora and fauna, and hopefully enhance their science academics. And finally, we have begun construction on the Jacobs Creek Bateau Landing in Rockingham County, North Carolina. This will be a park for ADA. We're really excited about this. This is a memory of a very beloved person, and it will have a river access and an overlook observation deck covered that people with disabilities will be able to use, and it will be the first of its kind in Rockingham County for that population. Oh, and the river otter habitat. We held that, you could see people in masks. We held that ribbon cutting in August. And this is the first man-made river otter habitat in the United States. It is located on the Smith River Greenway in Eden, North Carolina. And it's really exciting because there's been some habitat destruction, I guess is the best word, along the Smith River in that region, and it is home to a lot of river otters who are excellent indicators of water quality. And because of the debris and some of the erosion that has happened due to power line construction, this river otter habitat will allow, hopefully, river otters to re-inhabit that section of the river. And we have spoken with the North Carolina Wildlife Department, who has agreed to bring rehabilitated otters to this area after they have been rehabilitated. So we're really excited. And hopefully by the end of this year, early next year, we have installed streaming river video cameras in the Holt. So hopefully in the spring, you'll be able to see breeding and little baby otters and be able to see that real time right from your computer. So education. In 2020, we wanted to introduce a new environmental education catalog of programs and services to homeschoolers, to public schools as well as private schools, which we completed in early March. We volunteers on DRBA volunteers created a new water protector certification program, and that did launch. We had citizen water quality monitoring trainings scheduled, and green schoolyard projects scheduled. And when we started the year, we wanted to create some more outdoor EE programs. Well, when schools closed in March and pretty much stayed closed, that did create some problems. And when we couldn't bring groups of people together, we had to figure out how to continue to do our citizen water quality monitoring trainings virtually, which we did very successfully. So, Trout in the Classroom, one of our most exciting programs and memorable programs and award-winning programs. We have the largest Trout in the Classroom program in the United States. In March, we got a call saying all the schools were going to close, and we had thousands of trout in tanks in schools. So our environmental education manager very quickly mobilized volunteers and staff to go and rescue those trout that the children would have released in April and May. So we were able to save every one of them, and Krista, our manager, did a special video so that the students who had been raising them since September of the year before were able to see their trout being released into the streams. So you can actually see that video too. It's heartwarming. It is on the DRBA website under our For Educators tab. But that was an interesting project. So what other EE projects have we done? Well, we started Lunch with DRBA webinars as early as April. We were able to pull those together, and we did one a week through July, and then we started them once a month in August, and we have continued those throughout the year. This will be our last for 2020, but we will start them up again in 2021. So, and you can see any past webinars on our website under the DRBA webinars tab under education. We received a 2-year grant for a STEM program for Pennsylvania schools, and we had to very quickly decide how we were going to continue to provide that service and meet the deliverable of that grant virtually. And what we did was we actually mailed all of the water quality monitoring materials to the students at home. And we did virtual Zoom meetings with the students, and they were able to do the water quality testing at home. So that was really exciting. We also turned our citizen water quality monitoring training into virtual. We trained close to 75 new volunteers this year, which is our highest ever. And hopefully we will have 50 of those volunteers start their site monitoring in 2021. We did an art contest. This is draw your favorite part of the river, and children are doing that, students are doing that throughout the basin, and there are prizes being available for them. Also, our environmental education manager and several DRBA staff created over a dozen new videos for teachers to be able to use remotely with their students for in-classroom environmental education programming. Our water protector certification we made free for students, so students across the basin can become certified. And our green schoolyard, we were able to do one of our programs at the Albert Harris Elementary School in Martinsville. Both phase 1 and phase 2 have been completed, which was no small feat. And right now there is a monarch butterfly certified station at the Albert Harris Elementary, and we hope to be able to continue to do these green schoolyard projects throughout the basin. So went a little forward. There we go. Sorry about that. So far we have been extraordinarily busy and managed to continue with our environmental education throughout the basin despite the pandemic. One other thing that we did is we started the Southern Virginia Environmental Collaboration. We wanted to work closely with environmental educators throughout Virginia, pulled them together, and now there's a quarterly newsletter that features programming from all of us, all of these partners that go out to teachers quarterly. So teachers will be able to find environmental education programming both virtually and hopefully someday back in classroom and out in the field for a long time to come, and make it very easy for them. So this year we reached 7,000 students throughout these areas with environmental education. Not quite our 10,000 mark that we usually make every year, but I am super, super proud. And the year's not over. And with the art contest coming up, there's another, I think, 1,000 students participating in that program. So we're going to become close at the end of the year of reaching just about as many students as we do without a pandemic happening. So looking forward, we are praying and hoping that we're going to be able to do our typical programming back in the classroom. However, we are going to be working on designing virtual Trout in the Classroom and Streamside Trees in the Classroom programs just in case, and have those ready for spring and fall semesters. We had hoped to put out an environmental education regional survey. The last one we did was in 2017. This goes out to superintendents, principals, teachers, administrators, asking them what kind of programming they have and what kind of programming they would like. We did not do that this year, given that teachers and administrators were overwhelmed with the pandemic, but we hope to launch that survey next year. That survey will reach close to, I believe there are 6,000 participants on that survey. We hope to do more certified monarch butterfly stations and more green schoolyard sites in 2021. So I'm going to pause right now, double check my chat box. I do not see any questions or answers, so I'm going to move on to our focus on stewardship. So we had cleanups planned in Henry County, Halifax, Danville, Patrick, Rockingham, and Stokes County when we started 2020. We had a citizen water quality monitoring focus on 3 areas, Caswell, Pennsylvania, and Danville, where we had not had many monitors signed up. We wanted to really get our storm drain marking program up and running, and again, the water protector certification program. What actually happened in 2020? Well, I am proud to announce that 35 of our 50 volunteers continued to do their monthly monitoring from March through June, which is, we could not be more grateful for their commitment. And the additional 15 volunteers came back and began their monitoring in June. So currently we have 50 volunteers out there doing 25 sites with, and close to 20 of those sites were done uninterrupted during the pandemic. We were able to buy 2 years of supplies for the Danville region in hopes of getting our volunteers. And like I said earlier, we have 50 volunteers signed up and ready to go. So we have 2 years of supplies waiting for them. And if you can at any point check out the data, it is real-time data. The volunteers who monitor these streams and the rivers, they actually input their data into the website. And so you can see pH levels, you can see E. coli levels, and follow that at a stream near you every month. So as I said, the Water Protector Certification has a new application. There are incentives. You can get a garden flag, a yard sign, DRBA volunteers created a much simpler to use application, and any individual and family and business can do this. So I hope everyone will become water protector certified. Other stewardship projects. As I said, we had cleanups planned. Could not do those cleanups because we could not pull large groups of volunteers. And our cleanups typically can gather anywhere from 20 to 100 volunteers per cleanup. So we have cleanup crews. And I am proud to announce that we actually had 25 events and 30 volunteers who individually went out and cleaned up either a trail or a river or a stream on their own and put that information into DRBA. And so we were able to track that. So last year we only had 17 cleanup events. So during the pandemic, we actually had more cleanup events. We had 1,000 volunteers last year and only 30 this year, but every little bit helps, and you can become a cleanup crew of 1 or 2 or 3, 4 people and pick a trail or pick a river access or a stream and put it up on our website, and we can keep track of that, and we are so grateful to those volunteers. This year we also spent our time, which we were able to do, on riparian buffer identification. Riparian buffer is key to keeping our waterways clean. And so we were able to do over 200 miles of buffer identification, seeing where there is buffer that is lacking and where we need to focus on planting trees and buffer. We had family storm drain marking events. We did not have our community-wide ones, again, because of crowd size. But we had 2 or 3 families who went out and did storm drain markings out near their homes. This is available to everyone. We pay and give the supplies for free. And there's a video we created on how to do it, and anyone can do it. And we'll even help you get permission from your municipality to do it. As I mentioned, a lot of this year has been of our time spent on renovation and cleanups damaged by weather and flooding. Dozens and dozens of river accesses and trails were damaged, and DRBA is the organization working with municipalities to get those all cleaned up so the public can continue to enjoy them. So events this year, we were able to do most of our first Saturday outings. We did have to cancel quite a few due to the pandemic and restrictions on crowd size. This month, actually, December's will be canceled as well, but we have offered people some options on where they can go out and do it on their own. We held an Eco Ambassador Council event. This is for corporations in the business, or in the region rather, interested in making a combined investment in protecting and preserving our natural resources. We had a in-person event scheduled for March, which of course had to be canceled. And throughout the year, we worked with Carter Bank and Trust, the host company who was hosting the event, to do a virtual event. And that event was held on November 11th. We had almost 50 companies attend virtually. We sent little mugs and breakfast bars. We had a breakfast meeting, and I am proud to say that we have 5 commitments from companies who want to join as founding members, and an additional 10 companies who will make the decision by the end of the year. This will create a fund of almost $50,000 that can be invested into projects throughout the region through these companies. We held our Art and Nature auction in November. Thank you to everyone who participated. It was virtual, and we will hold another virtual event in 2021. So please, if you missed this auction, look for it next year. It is some extraordinary items that are made by nature, inspired by nature, or recycled. And finally, if you haven't already signed up and registered for our Wild and Scenic Film Festival, it will be virtual on December 12th. DRBA members receive a 75% discount on tickets, general admission tickets. These are films that will come, that are from all over the world, award-winning films, and inspiring, heart-wrenching, make you smile and laugh. It is, you can sit back on your couch, have some popcorn, some hot cocoa maybe, and sit back and for 2 hours just be transported around the world. And I promise you, by the end of that evening, you will be inspired. So please, you can find more information about it on our website. And please, please, please register. So this year, as in all years, we had a focus on raising funds. This year was particularly hard on DRBA. We saw a 95% decrease in memberships and donations from March through October. And that is devastating to a nonprofit. We were lucky to have extraordinarily committed volunteers who helped us run a spring and end of year membership and donor campaign. We did Giving Tuesday. You can still give even though it's not Tuesday, and whether or not you received a membership or donor packet from us. We were blessed that a funder provided funding for a resource development consultant to help us navigate through the pandemic and how we may continue to raise funds. And I am pleased to say that 98% of our grant proposals we submitted in 2020 were accepted and funded. But certainly grants only make about 30% of DRBA's funding pie. It is individuals and businesses who make up the rest. So we definitely count on you to make that happen for us. So we need your help. Volunteer is definitely, there are opportunities open. We are keeping the volunteer opportunities very small, obviously. I will have another one coming up in December for our paw park. We need volunteers to go out and blow some leaves and cut some trees down for the path. One thing you can do right from your house is let your town and our county know you believe in DRBA. Send them a letter, send them an email, just let them know that you support what we do, and that helps us continue to do our projects in partnership with municipalities. Something easy, pick us on Amazon Smile. If you shop on Amazon, and a lot of us are doing a lot of online shopping this holiday season, if you type in smile.amazon.com, you can choose the Dan River Basin Association, and we do receive the funds from Amazon. So every purchase you make goes to a percentage of it goes to us. We are also a charitable organization at Kroger. So if you shop at Kroger, you can choose us online in your account, and we receive a percentage of your purchases. So please, very easy to do. Talk to people you know. Tell everyone you know what you've learned today, how hard we've worked this year despite all the challenges that we faced. And like, share, and follow us. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The more likes and shares we get, the more people learn about what we do and become excited and want to get involved. So one thing you could do, if you haven't already, is vote for our tree and the Trees for Cause contest. This is a contest offered by the Institute for Advanced Learning out in Danville. DRBA can win $2,000 if our tree wins. And I just checked this morning, and I think we're in 4th place. So please, if you go on our Facebook page, if you receive our e-newsletter, you have the link. You can go on the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, their Facebook page. There's a link there. All you have to do is click like, and the tree that has the most likes wins $2,000. So we're hoping to get everyone mobilized in everybody's social networks. Our tree is different from every other tree on that website. We decided to pick one out in a natural setting. You can see this tree is overlooking the Martinsville Reservoir at sunset. We also took a picture of it at night. At the top is a star made from felled tree branches. We found a rope in the area that we used for garland. There are pine cones, and I dried apples and oranges and hung them on the tree. There are suet ornaments for the birds. And I don't know if you can see right here, we found a bird's nest on the ground, and we picked it up, and I put a little egg in it for the picture. But we kept our tree natural to, I mean, why wouldn't we? We're DRBA, that's what we do. And this is a picture, we put a spotlight on it of lights. There are no lights on the tree. And we took a picture of it right as the sun was going down, and I think it just looks absolutely beautiful. So please like our tree on the Institute's Facebook page. So I know I'm finishing up a little bit early, but I wanted to leave some room for questions. That's a beautiful picture taken by our staff person, Brian Williams, in the winter. So any questions you have for me or anything you'd like to add about DRBA in 2020? I didn't even cover, you know, all the back office things we do. We actually purchased a portal computer that both our treasurer and our finance person on staff could work remotely together so that there would be no interruption in DRBA's abilities to thank our donors and our members, but also keep up with our finances. The hundreds of virtual meetings that we have been in, again, not part of this presentation, but certainly worthy and valuable in time in working with partners, not just in this region. Just last week, I was on a nationwide Zoom call with river organizations across the nation, talking about how we can partner together on projects to keep our waterways clean. So we are advocating, we are working hard, and we did not stop this year despite all that happened. So any questions for me before I let you return to the rest of your day? I see a question come through. Yes, thank you. We do have a job opening at DRBA. It is rare. Our staff never leaves. We are so in love with the organization. You have to retire in order to have an open position, but we have one. It is the North Carolina program manager, and this person will handle our North Carolina programs in stewardship, education, and recreation. So it's an exciting position, and a really visible one in the community. And so we're really excited to have that. And you can find that job description on our website. Any other chats or questions anyone has? Well, thank you, everyone. I truly appreciate you spending today with us. If you think of a question later on, don't hesitate to email DRBA, and we will definitely respond. Have a wonderful holiday season. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be sure to spend a lot of time outdoors. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in 2021.